Are we going to see a rematch between Vader and Kanan? What's going on, guys? I'm going to talk to you today about a little future theory crafting, and beware of spoilers if you're not caught up on Star Wars Rebels. I'm also going to talk about Rogue One and the book Thrawn. So spoiler warning for all of those, and let's go forward. So I absolutely do think we're going to see a rematch between Vader and Kanan for a number of reasons. For one, this is going to be the final season of Star Wars Rebels, so they're definitely not going to pull any punches. They're going to try to give us the biggest payoff they can, and one of those things is always to bring in Vader. I think it's going to showcase Kanan's growth as a character, because he faced Vader early on in the series and completely got crushed. And I think that's going to showcase that how he's grown. He's officially been knighted a Jedi Knight in the temple, and so I think he's definitely grown. He's become more powerful. He did pretty well against Maul, and Maul is extremely powerful too. And he's faced a lot of enemies and managed not to die. So I think him fighting Vader will be a great way to showcase, like, you can be able to watch season 1 and season 2 and kind of seeing how he's grown there. And, go all the way up to season 4 and see that, like, wow, he's really come into his own. And sometimes taking an apprentice will help you grow. So, but of course, if he does face Vader, I don't think he's going to survive that encounter. I mean, we're already told there are no more Jedi. Yoda, in the original trilogy, Yoda says that, that Luke is the last Jedi. Snoke even says it in The Force Awakens. And then there's a whole movie coming out called The Last Jedi. So Kanan is absolutely a Jedi. He has had formal training. He is very much ingrained into the Jedi. And while it's possible that moving forward past the end of Rebels, while it is possible that we are going to see Force users who are potentially even good, that doesn't mean they have to subscribe to the Jedi teachings. And I think that's kind of what Luke is kind of talking about in the trailer too. But I'm not going to talk about The Last Jedi very much now. I'm going to talk more about Rebels and what's going on there. So I think people like Rey could potentially, go on to become training without becoming a Jedi. I think Ezra could end up becoming, a light side user without becoming a Jedi. Just like Ahsoka, said that she's no Jedi, but she's clearly a good person. She's not evil. And so just being good doesn't mean you have to be a Jedi. And I think Ahsoka's demonstrated this. I think Ezra may end up following in her footsteps, perhaps, maybe directly or indirectly. But I think that's something that may happen. I could even see Ezra going forward, finding a journal of Ahsoka's, and maybe following some of her teachings through maybe a whole new series, right? We'll do another video about that one of these days. All right. So also, if you look at Kanan at the beginning of season 3, he tells Ezra, I don't think there's much more I can teach you. So a lot of things are lending themselves to Kanan dying, but I don't think Kanan's just going to die in some random episode. I think if Kanan's going to die in season 4, then it's going to have to be at the hands of a really big bad. Like, it could be Thrawn potentially that kills Kanan, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think it would almost make sense for it to be Vader. Vader's very, very important to all of this, and and he represents everything that has put Kanan where we see him at the beginning, where he's hiding. He doesn't want people to know that he's a Jedi. Even in the book, before you have Rebels starting off, he doesn't want anybody. He didn't even tell Hera for a long time. So another thing is, they don't show Hera in Rogue One. They talk about Hera in Rogue One, but they don't show her. Now, I don't think this was a budgeting thing. There were plenty of aliens in Rogue One, so it's not like they couldn't have shown her. But I think the fact that they didn't show her also keys into the fact that Kanan has died right before Rogue One. And what I mean by that is, I believe that when we do see Hera again after Rogue One, that she will perhaps be wearing something of Kanan's, maybe a shoulder pad or something like that, or some kind of memento for her fallen lover or comrade. Or, well, yeah, we know he's her lover. They're space married. So I think that's one of those things where, like, they don't show Hera because that would have given away something that's going to happen, because he's going to confront him. if you refer to early in Star Wars Rebels, the first time they talk about Mustafar, Ezra asks Kanan, and he says, "Hey, what's Mustafar?" And he goes, "That's where Jedi go to die." And now when he first said this, we didn't know that they were going to have a castle for Vader up on Mustafar. We just thought, oh, well, that was where Obi-Wan and Vader dueled, right? Well, now that Rogue One has happened, we know that there's a castle there. I think Kanan saying that's where Jedi go to die was a foreshadowing on his own death. So it does seem like Kanan is going to die on Mustafar, fulfilling almost like a prophecy that he indirectly said. And so imagine Kanan goes there and they duel on Mustafar. Kanan dies there, but perhaps he's able to actually injure Vader. And so while he's not going to beat Vader, maybe he does a really good job against him, aided by Ezra, and he perhaps sacrifices himself, very much Obi-Wan style, to save Ezra. It's even a chance it could be a 3 versus 1. Maybe they're joined by Ahsoka as well. So that's kind of my prediction, is that Kanan is going to face Vader on Mustafar, and inside his castle. We already know from Doug Chang, he said a while back that they wanted to try to reuse some of the art for Vader's castle. It would be a shame if they ended up not using it again. Some people thought that meant they were going to use that in one of the future movies, Episode 8 or Episode 9. But I think they're going to use it in Season 4 of Star Wars Rebels. And I think Kanan's going to face Vader and die. And also that would make a lot of sense as to why we see Vader in the bacta tank in Rogue One. I mean, it could just be that he likes to hang out in bacta, but it also will give that whole scene a lot more meaning if you know that, recently before that scene, he was dueling a couple of Jedi like Kanan and Ezra and Ahsoka, and maybe he got injured up pretty good and had to heal up some more. So that would just make that scene that much more powerful. But I want to hear what you guys think. Do you guys agree with me that we are going to see Kanan face Vader again in Rebels Season 4, and that this will spell certain doom for Kanan? That's definitely my prediction. What remains unclear is if Ahsoka is going to be involved in that duel, and if Kanan is going to sacrifice himself Obi-Wan style to save Ezra. But I'd love to hear what you guys think. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe. There's still a time to enter to win the Rey with Speeder Funko Pop that I'm giving away, the Star Wars Celebration exclusive. So make sure you subscribe and leave a comment on this or any of my other videos to enter that. And as always, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and have a wonderful day.